There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another beautiful day on Nobody Asked But. I'm your host, Tariq Bryan, and it is the last week of October, and it has been a fun one spending it with you guys, doing all these videos and telling y'all all about these classical films that we kind of forgot and at the same time need a little bit of reminding that they are out there. So today we are going to be talking about a movie that I've never watched before, another one. So the past one, American Werewolf in London, I've never seen, and believe it or not, I've never seen this next film that we are going to discuss today, the 1996 classic horror film Scream. Now, I just finished watching it right now, and let me tell you, it was an awesome ride. I never thought that I would actually enjoy this movie as much as I did. This actually is probably gonna be my first horror movie that I actually enjoyed, I liked. So let's talk Scream.
Nobody asked you, old boy.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Halloween.
We never really saw horror movies like this prior to that. Most of the movies that we saw were supernatural villains, you know, like Dracula, Frankenstein, or otherworldly creatures. It wasn't until Halloween hit where we saw a different type of villain in which it was a human villain. And so it hit us a lot harder because the serial killer could be the guy right next door. With the intro to Halloween, everything changed. The whole horror genre changed, just like Aliens did with it as well. People were starting to get tired of this trope though, this whole, you know, teenagers getting picked off one by one, the cliches pretty much. And so in 1996, a movie came out that put a spotlight on those cliches. I got the information from a podcast called Serial Killers, and they did a spotlight where they talked about real horrors in the sense of movie horror serial killers. And one of them was... Now, during the time of the 70s, there was a lot of serial killers because of veterans coming back from World War II of the PTSD. They were unfit to be fathers, unfortunately. When Scream released, prior to that, the writer Kevin Williamson was inspired by the Gainesville Ripper, who was a serial killer out in Gainesville, Florida. When Kevin Williamson was house sitting for a friend, he got the feeling that somebody was in the house with him. And so he played upon this feeling and went into his creative mode and started writing the script for Scream. And so you can totally see the similarities when it comes to how the killer acts, when it comes to the killings.
Maybe. Do you have a boyfriend?
No.
You never told me your name.
Why do you want to know my name?
I want to know who I'm looking at.
What did you say?
The way he displayed his victims and also how he mutilates the body.
Oh, God!
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
In the beginning, and as well as how we hear how the murders are taking place, is just like the Gainesville Ripper. And so Kevin Williamson took that inspiration and asked Wes Craven to go ahead and put this into a film. And I think they did a great job. They captured the horror, they captured the realness, they captured the story itself. The story itself is really good. So let me tell you about the movie, because I know there's some people out there who will watch the movie because they're into horror stuff, and I know there's people out there who won't watch the movie because they're not into horror stuff. Our lead, Sidney Prescott, is plagued during the anniversary of her mother's death by a killer who's slowly stalking the town of Woodsboro.
Found brutally murdered. Authorities have yet to issue a statement.
I actually enjoyed watching Sidney Prescott go through this horror of a night, but at the same time, prior to that, I loved getting to know her. I loved getting to know her friends, and everything made sense. The whole city, the story, the characters, they all made sense.
Yeah, Casey and Steve were completely hollowed out. And the fact is, it takes a man to do something like that.
Or a man's mentality.
The first opening scene, but I've never watched the full thing, I was screaming, bro. There's a different tone for real. I love how the angles of the camera, I think that's very Wes Craven. When it comes to like the angles, when we're starting to get a little serious into the scene, when we start to tighten up that tension and turn up the feeling of fear, and it gives that more intensity that I'm like, oh, this is starting to get a little weird. Props to the whole cast. The whole cast was on point. I really appreciated how great the acting was from everyone in the cast, going from Neve Campbell or Neve Campbell? Neve Campbell, all the way up to David Arquette. I loved his character.
Son? I'm kidding. Have a good time. Watch the driving.
If you stayed this long into the video, why don't you go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that way you can stay in the loop with all other shindigs that's going to be coming out this year. Oof, it just gives me chills talking about it. With the undertone of Sydney having trauma already and the killer playing on that. It's a very personal vendetta when it comes to our lead and the killings that are going on. So we feel for her a lot more. We want her to win.
In what appears to be a prank, several students were seen wearing scary masks.
Yo, people in horror movies, like even though they know what to do in a horror movie, even though they know
Never, ever, ever, under any circumstances say, I'll be right back.
that, hey, when somebody says I'll be right back, that's code for like I'm gonna go get stabbed. They still do it. Like I still can't fathom my girl going through the kitty door. Like where in her mind did she think that was gonna work? Come on now. The dude even like knocked down shovels and rakes. Just to let her know, hey, here's some weapons for you if you need them. So that's another thing too. You don't really know who the villain is throughout the movie, and they do a great job of tricking you up, because sometimes people go off on walks and then they start cueing in some music and it's like, oh shoot, this might be the killer. Oh shoot, this might be the killer too. Then towards the end, people start doing things that are a little bit suspicious. Ghostface is using these cliches in this living world to hunt down his victims. It's very interesting. Like if you look at it from a movie perspective, Scream is very, very interesting. And people weren't used to that. People weren't used to characters understanding the idea of...
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.
It made sense, but at the same time, it still had you like, wait, how? He actually made it seem like he was a ghost. It was great. It was a great twist.
I'm getting another beer. You want one?
Yeah, sure.
I'll be right back.
You see?
You have to hand it to the people who are getting attacked though. They put up good fights. They put up some good fights. But not all of them could make it though. Not all of them made it out. Yes. Go and watch Scream. Watch it. You will enjoy it. I was gonna try to rhyme, but it just didn't happen. Anyway, go watch Scream. It is free on Max. You will not be disappointed. I definitely recommend watching this at night. I watched it in the day, as you can see, because I just got off work early and I just took advantage, you know what I mean? So watch Scream. It is fun. It is scary. It has great jump scares that you won't expect it. It's actually slightly funny, which is always great in a horror movie, those little cracks of wit.
Number 2, you can never drink or do drugs. No, the sin factor. It's a sin. It's an extension of number 1.
This Halloween, nobody asked me, but you should watch Scream. All right, y'all. My name's Tarek Bryant. This is Nobody Asked But. I hope you have a wonderful and safe Halloween. You guys eat lots of candy and party hardy and be safe. Peace out.
Nobody asked you, old boy.